welcome
What's
everybody.
happening?
And I'm in Provo, Utah, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon Mountain Time. And we have Gerhard Roof in Orem, Utah. He's our host today, and we have several people online with us on Zoom. And we hope to have this on Facebook, but we were having troubles getting into the Facebook connection here a minute ago. So maybe Gerhard can get that straightened out. But anyway, we are delighted to have you all with us. Wherever you are, give us a little indication as to where you're watching this from. We always are interested to see where we're reaching. Today, we want to talk about Google searches. The Google search engine, as most of you are aware, started many years ago, and it's the big search engine now, the one that most people use. But it has problems, as do all search engines. We'll point out some of those and some of the new things and new features and things that are happening now. The latest information is that Google, because of their, somebody's got their microphone on. If they could turn that off, it would be helpful. Google tracks everything you say and do and everything you look for, and then they tailor ads to your what you might want to buy. And because of that, everything is slanted now, and you may not be getting what you think you're getting. There are other search engines which don't track you, and we'll talk a little bit more about those later on. Anyway, there are notes for this class, a handout for it, and Gerhard usually posts a PDF of those notes in the chat for Zoom and in the comments for Facebook. The URL for where those notes are stored is there at the bottom of the screen. It's my web page on there, and you'll see that again, and I'll talk a little bit more about the notes here in a minute. Here are some of the things we want to talk about today in Google searches. And all of these are mentioned in the notes, so you don't need to take notes on most of this stuff because the details are in there. We're going to talk about search engines in general, the Google versions by country. There are nearly 200, or maybe it's more than 200 now, different versions of Google. Each country has one, and it's usually in that country's language. And you may find different ways to search and different results by using the same search terms, but searching the one for that country rather than the one just for the US. The Google search syntax is one of the things we'll talk about. That's how do you type in different sorts of things to make it do different sorts of searches. And there's some special features that Google has. Some of the others are adopting those features now, and some of the new features that are artificial intelligence, and then dealing with the result files. When you get the results lists, what do you do with them? How do you search them, and so on? And we'll look at some examples. Now, the class notes themselves are stored at that URL. That's the same one that we showed a minute ago. UV tag, that's Utah Valley Technology and Genealogy Group.org, and then /classes/dawns, and then dawns-classes.html. That's the link that's got all my updated information. That has the schedule for what's coming up, what's past, all past classes, and notes are in there. And there's links, and it tells you how to watch things and so on at all the different places. Now, we're going to do some demos here of different sorts of things here, but I want to show you what those notes look like first. So I'm going to go to back to, let's see, Alt-Tab, and go to the notes, and these are the notes. Now, these are the notes that are online. They're on my website right now, and this is shown live, and you can print this off yourself, or you can use it online. If you use it online, all the links are hot in here, so that if you click on one, it'll take you directly to it. The URL that you saw there a minute ago gets you to, let me go to the other tab that I got open here. It gets you to this, which is Dawn's Knows Class Notes page. And there's information in here about how you look, how you find the different links for both Facebook as well as for our YouTube channel for the Utah Valley Technology and Genealogy Group. Here's the classes coming up. That's today's class, and you click on that one and you get that set of notes we just saw. Next month, on the third Wednesday, we're going to be talking about what I call snow numbers. They're descendants research. Descendants, not research, but descendant numbering system that we found really helpful in our family. And I haven't decided on a topic yet for the April one, but there's the dates on there. Here's all the past classes and the classes from this year. We did one in January, and then here's the past class. This goes on down there for all the different things in the past that we've had. Okay, so let's go back up here to the today's notes, and let's run through these quickly so that you can see what's here, and so you'll know where we are and what we're talking about. There's an abstract in here that tells you a little bit about what we're dealing with today, and you can read through that sometime. And I do recommend you take time to read through these notes because we won't have time to talk about everything that's in here. There's a welcome here. There's my information on my email address and so on, and a couple of ideas and notes here that I put in this tips on item 3 about how to get around and so on. I find that these are, most people are, well, you folks probably are aware of, but many people are not, so I put them in here. And then item 4 is the problem for today about how do you work with search engines, especially with Google and others. Here's the information about Google as to when it started and the details, and there's a link there that will show you the Google link for all of the other different countries. It was up to nearly 200 and maybe over 200 countries now. They're all listed in that list, and you'll see the particular one. Like for over in England, when we were missionaries in England, we used the google.uk. And so that was the for searching for there, and you get different results depending on which country you're searching in. Google has a light mode and a dark mode. I'm in the light mode now. It's black text on white background. Because of my poor eyesight now with my macular degeneration, for me it's easier the other way. So I usually use it reversed and look at white text on black background. That's much easier for me to see and to see clearly. But whatever you like, there's ways that you can change that in there. Item 7 is the search engine optimization problem that the locals, the guys that write the programs and that the programmers slant things toward what they want you to find, not what you may be wanting to find. And nowadays you can't trust things like reviews because there are so many different reviews that they put in these phony reviews that look like they're real, but they're not. There are ways around that. In fact, Dick Eastman on the Eastman Genealogy, online genealogy newsletter, suggests that if you're looking for a review, you type the name of the information that you're looking for, and then you put Reddit, R-E-D-D-I-T, in there. What that does is it says that we're interested only in the Reddit group that are discussing back and forth these items. And then you're liable to get to find discussions that are really that are valid discussions about the item, not just a phony review that was written up to sell you the stuff. And so there are ways around that. There are now in Google and so on, somebody announced, I guess it was Bing or one of them announced within the last month or two that AI, artificial intelligence, is going to be used now with searching. And so all the other search engines jumped on it and said, oh yeah, we're working on that too. And there's a bunch of new features that they're all claiming now, but there's not very much that is out there yet, but there are some. Item 9, DuckDuckGo is a search engine that I use. In fact, I use it as my home page on my browser because it does not track you. Whatever you search for, it doesn't keep track of that stuff. On Google, they keep track of everything you look for, and they sell that information to other companies who then target you with ads and all sorts of other things. So DuckDuckGo doesn't do that. So I've been using that for the last several years as my home page, and I do searches on that, but I also do searches on Google. There's a new one out that I just learned about last week, and that's item 10 down there, called Andi Search. ANDI search.org. That's a new search engine that has artificial intelligence already built into it. And that's one that I've been working with in the last few days, but not a whole lot of information on there yet. So I really don't know whether to recommend it or not, but it's there if you want to find it. I didn't put the link in here, but you do a search for Andy, andysearch.org. Here's a Google search syntax table. I used to have this in just not in a table, but in items 1, 2, 3, and I thought it's going to be easier to see them if you can look at them in some sort of a chart like this. And so most of you are familiar with a good share of these, so we won't take a lot of time to go through these, but let me just mention a couple of them. The first line there, capitalization and punctuation do not matter. So it makes no difference if you put in periods or question mark. Well, I don't know about question mark, but exclamation points or periods or commas or semicolon, none of that stuff matters, nor do capitalizations. So you can capitalize words or leave them uncapitalized and it still searches the same way. There are lots of different things, different techniques to search for different ways. The one of the most common that you use a lot is the one with putting it in a quotation marks. If you put quotation marks around the information, like my example there is my name, Donald R. Snow, in quotation marks, then it searches exactly for that combination. It doesn't, if I don't put those quotes in there, it searches for any page that has the word Donald on it somewhere, R on it somewhere, and Snow on it somewhere, and they may not be related. So that narrows it down a lot. So use the quote marks. I put at the end of the notes here a suggestion for you to try is type in your own name in quotation marks and see what comes up. You may be surprised at the amount of stuff that's there. You'll find information about your life, about where you show up in newspaper articles or various things. It's a never-ending process because there's new stuff coming up all the time. STEM searches, it just does well, let's see, a wild card. That's an asterisk is a wild card, and that can stand for one or many different characters. STEM searches, Google does the first few letters you type in, like if you did, my example there is HIST, H-I-S-T. If you type that in, it will find historian, historical, history, history spelled different ways, and so on. Those are called STEM searches. You just type in the first few letters and it adds anything that works with those letters afterwards. If you want to exclude something, put a minus in front of it. And there's a Don Snow that's a famous musician and he plays the guitar, I think it is, and sings and composes songs and stuff. And so to avoid his stuff, when I search for my name, I put minus music and minus guitar. Don't leave a space between them, just put it right in front of the thing, and then it excludes those terms. Most of this stuff you're familiar with, I think, already. Number ranges is a very helpful thing. The example there is if you're only looking for information in the 1500s, type in 1500 ... 1600. And what will come back will be only those articles that are related to that time period. If you're interested in a price amount or a distance formula or something, just type in ... between the two numbers, and it will just give you results in that price range or that distance range or whatever it is you're looking for, and so on. Let's see if there's anything else in there. Boolean searches, most of you are familiar with the and. That's the same thing as a space. And or, these are capital letters. Or means one or the other or both in there. The site searches, that's kind of an interesting thing to do. If you want to know what sites are, if you want to search just for a particular set of terms in one particular site, put site : the examples there for our UV tag, and then whatever your search terms are, and it will only search that website. It won't search anything else. And link search is interesting too, to see what's linked to it. If you want to type in link : and then the site, it'll tell you everything that's linked to that. It really interesting stuff that you could find by using some of these various things. And then the last in this feature search, if you're only interested in something like the PDF, or if you only want a doc file, or if you're only interested in images, type in one of that type of file in your search terms, and it'll come back with just those. And so you might find, if you're looking for books, maybe type in .pdf. or .epub or something like that, and you may get information that will have those in. So anyway, that's a little chart that may help you. Now, there's a bunch of other things down here that we'll look at a little bit more in detail here that didn't fit into that chart. One is the around command. This is a proximity search. You're looking for terms that are close to other terms, not just on the same page, but that are close by. The quotation marks is the simplest one because that helps you with exactly that. But if you were searching for, like in my name there, Donald R. Snow, it might be Snow, comma, Donald R. If I put in quotation marks, Donald R. Snow, that it won't find that. But if I use that around command, it's all capital letters, AROUND, and then in a number in there, and I've got two words, that means 2 words in between it. Put Donald R in quotes, because I want that exact, and then around to Snow. It will pick up both Donald R. Snow and Snow Donald R. And you can use that in a lot of different ways to simplify your searches. There's an example there that if you're looking for Snows, our Snow ancestor was in Woburn, Massachusetts. If you want to find all the Snows that were in Woburn, type in the around, Snow around, and then I put in 100 there. That means within 100 words, the word Woburn is in there. Woburn is a town in Massachusetts near Cambridge. And that you're liable to find the Snows that were related to Woburn, Massachusetts. Or if you're looking for a marriage, Erastus Snow married, my great-grandfather, married Artemisia Beeman. That was his first wife. If you search for Snow around, and I put 10 in there for 10 words between them, Beeman, you're liable to find Erastus Snow, and he married Beeman, or some relationship to Beeman between the two. This around command is very helpful. It doesn't always work correctly, but it's pretty good, and in most cases it's accurate enough. You can use it for the dates, because people write dates in a lot of different ways. There's examples of different dates in there, but if you put like Sep and then around 1879, that will pick up all those different ways of writing the date. The genealogy date, a way of writing it is that last one over there, 9 Sep of 1879. But people write September 4th or something, comma, and all these other different ways. And that will pick up all of those different dates. So it's very helpful in that. That's the around command. And that I couldn't figure out an easy way to put that into that table, so I put that separately. There's also a conversion command in there about converting. If you want to convert distance or money or time or velocity, whatever, use the capital IN. And there's some examples there. 1 British pound in US money. And the be sure you capitalize IN, otherwise it'll think you're looking for the word in there. And it'll tell you what the current value of a British pound is in US money, or 20 ounces in kilograms, and so on. For correct spelling, you can use it for finding spelling. Type in something close like Ireland, type in IRLAND, and it'll say, did you mean? And it'll give you some choices of Ireland spelled correctly. So there's a lot of different things you can do with this stuff to find the correct this thing off. So okay, now this is Google, and in the middle of the screen you see that bar for the Google search. If you want to enter your information by voice, you see there's a little microphone over there on the right. If you click on that thing, then you can talk to it, and you can enter the words by voice, and it will do it. I won't take time to illustrate that, but I'll just type in here. Let me type in here colon I've never done this one before, but I'm going to put in Gerhard Roof. Did I spell it correctly, Gerhard? I think I did. Yep. Okay. Now hit enter.
Yes.
Okay. Now I put Gerhard's name in quotation marks, and there's Gerhard Roof, Orem, Utah, United States, professional profile. You put your own name in and try it. You'll find all kinds of stuff that you didn't dream was there. There are PDF versions of all the newspapers, for example, in the state of Utah. If you live in Utah or have ever lived in Utah or been a student at one of the universities here, you're probably listed in the newspaper someplace, whether it was a graduation or a award you got, or the fact that you had dinner with somebody. It might be mentioned at one place or another. It's digitalnewspapers.org that's the Utah Digital Newspapers. They got a government from the grant, a grant from the government and from other private parties. The University of Utah did to digitize all newspapers in the whole state of Utah. And your name is in there more than likely if you either lived in Utah or ever did. Type in your information and see what you find. Here's different sorts of things. Look, there's even pictures and all these sorts of things on there. And this goes on and on and on. You'll find just lots of different sorts of things in here. You don't know what you're going to find. If you type in Donald R. Snow, you come up with an obituary for Donald R. Snow, but it's not me, fortunately. It was a guy back in, I've forgotten where he lived, North Carolina or someplace else. There have been several Donald R. Snows around the country. And so you have to look through it to see what you get. But you find all kinds of different sorts of things by doing that, by putting in the information. Now, let's type in here, let's try that around command. I'm going to type in here roof, R-U-F, A-R-O-U-N-D, around. Let's put around 10 words. And let's type Germany. But you got to spell it right, though. Did I spell it right?
You did.
Yeah, okay. And I hit enter. I have no idea what's going to come up. What came up?
Sports cars. There's a Roof brand automobile. It's a real fancy sports car.
Okay. All right. 5,000. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, but okay, nothing in here about you. Okay, if I put in Orem, I'll bet you there'd be something in here. If I put in around, let me just try Orem. And remember, caps don't make any difference. O-R-E-M, and then hit enter. What do we find now? Roof house.
That's a rough house dog care.
Oh. Yeah, R-U-F-F. See, notice that's a STEM search. See, I just typed in R-U-F, but it found R-U-F-F and so on.
There's a Roof and Associates LLC.
Is that you?
No.
Is that yours? You've got an LLT, don't you? Limited.
I've got a couple of LLCs with Roof in the name.
Anyway,
not that one.
Yeah, okay. But you anyway, you find stuff in there or something that you might be related to, like genealogy, or if you attended a university here, type in something about the university. You're just liable to, as a separate qualifier thing, you're just liable to find in all kinds of different sorts of things on there. That's this around command, which is so very helpful in so many different things. On it. So lots of things that you could do with the around command. Let's see, what were some of those other ones that we were looking at that, well, let me type that, let's do that around command with one of those dates. Let's type 1776 AROUND.
You put a question mark in front of the A, Don.
Oh, did I? I got to turn that big thing on because I can't see it. And I'll turn it off though after a minute. Let's see, where is my
there?
Where's the what's all this junk?
There at the top. There it is.
Yeah, there. Okay, here we go. Around where'd you say I got a question mark?
To the left of the A.
A question mark.
No, it's question mark A.
Yeah, oh, I see it now. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, that's my macular degeneration problem. By the way, if any of you have macular degeneration, or if your parents did, you're liable, it's genetic. And so it's going to show up again in next generations. Let's put around, let's put 5 for the words between, and then 1776.
Whoops, that's not a closed paren, it's a 0.
Yeah, oh gosh, that's my problem here. That's a shift. Okay, now delete, and let's put July, Jul, and let's see what comes up. Okay, now what now let me turn this magnifier off so that you can see what it is. Okay, here's what turned up, and you see all these different results that were there in 1776 around July, and the different dates, that the way the date might have been written in here, July 2nd or July 4th, Independence Day, etc. People also ask different sorts of things, etc. You may find that around command helpful for searching for things that are not quite the way you expect them to be. Now, I wanted to show you, I was going to use an illustration of the result lists to finish up. There is in Chrome, there's an extension that you can turn on. It's free. That the extensions are a whole different story that we want to take time to do here, but you could turn it on, and then you can do a search for, type in that word, and it will show up that whole word in color. If you type in 2 different words, like if you're doing a search term for 2 different things, it will show each term in a different color. And so they're all the way down, you'll see them so that you can immediately see where they are. That's true in the results lists, and it's also true if you go to, if you click on one of the result lists and you go to the website, it'll sometimes the website may be so big it's hard to find the character that you're looking for, the word. But if you turn on that extension in Chrome, that will do it. Or you can use the find command. This is in the notes, the details are there. The find, Control F, and that will find it, and that will, the word, type in whatever the word you were searching for, and that will show it in color. And then if you hold down the Control key before you click on that link, it will keep your place in the list. So you don't destroy your list. You don't have to scroll back down to find where you were, because it'll always be in another, it'll open up the result in a new tab and keep the old tab right where you were. And so it makes it a lot easier to do a search with that information. Now, let me just finish up, since we're about out of time here. Let me go to, let's see, an Alt tab and go back to our main screen. Where is this the main one? Yeah, okay, here, whoops, let's, okay, here's, now, as a summary as to what we've talked about today in Google searches, and we've talked more about other search engines too. Search engines and their results, and in particular, the Google search syntax, and hopefully that chart and the information in that syntax will help you. That same syntax works in several other browser or search engines, but not all. And so if you're using a different search engine, you may want to read their information to see what their search syntax is, but that gives you the ideas as to the kinds of things that can be done. We talked about that around command, and that's one that's not well known, but that's really helpful sorts of things. And then the results list themselves. Now, we're out of time, but have any of you got any questions or comments that you want to make? And if you do, just unmute your mic. And did we ever get onto Facebook, Gerhard?
No.
Oh, okay. So you're not watching this on Facebook. You might be watching this 6 months from now on Facebook or on our YouTube channel, because it'll be on our YouTube channel later. But do any of you have any comments or questions now? Or is there anything in the chat that anybody is asking?
Go ahead, Steve. You've unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I was just going to say, under the Utah Digital newspapers, when I search for a name like Donald R. Snow and put it in quotations, it does Donald, it does R, and it does Snow, all of them. Or if I just did Donald Snow, it does all three of the Donald and Snow, as well as Donald Snow.
So it doesn't do the search, the exact expression thing doesn't work in the search in that, huh?
Yeah. There is
Okay.
one question I have. Do you know how you can just isolate a particular article in digital newspapers?
Yes, there is a way. You go over to the right side when you find the article, go over to the right side and you can say, I want to see just this article. And then it will show you that article. And in fact, that's what I usually do. And then I download the PDF of that article, only that article.
Okay,
And,
I'll check.
yeah, sometimes I download the whole page so that I can cut it, because it may be, if it goes over into different column, the columns are too long, and I want to cut the columns so that I can put them side by side so you can see them on the screen instead of a long, tall, skinny thing. So sometimes I do the whole page and then cut the pieces myself and put it together.
Okay.
But there are ways to do what you're asking.
Don?
I have a question.
Okay.
You talked about Dick Eastman and the Reddit, which excludes phony reviews. How do I put that into the Google? I didn't quite understand how to use it.
Well, just type in whatever you're searching for, and then at the end of it, put space Reddit, REDDIT.
Okay.
He wrote an article in last month's newsletter about it. His newsletters are that was in the free version. It was not in the I've been paying for the commercial version, but it's in the free version. Just do a search for his article and you'll find the description as to why that works and what that does for you. It's within the last month on the Eastman Online Genealogy newsletter.
Okay. Thanks. It's good to see you, Don.
Okay. Yeah, good. All right. Any other questions or comments? Well, I appreciate you being with us and so on. And so that's the details. We can spend a lot more time. In fact, we ought to spend time sometime on Google Translate and a bunch of other stuff. But we won't, not today. There's the notes. There's my email address. If you want to email me, I'll be glad to try and answer your questions as well. And there's the notes online at that place down below. And you can always find those by going to our uvtag.org, UVTAGG, Utah Valley Technology and Genealogy Group.org, and then go to resources, and you'll find my web page listed in the resources. That's what all that other junk is that's down there that is on there.
Don?
But we appreciate all of you. And
Don?
yeah.
Don, you wanted to also mention Roots Tech.
Oh, I forgot. I was going to put a picture in here, a screenshot of Roots Tech. That's coming up in what, 3 weeks? And it's hybrid this year. Roots Tech is the big conference that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints sponsors. It's the biggest one in the world, the biggest genealogy conference. This year, it's hybrid. It will be in person in the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City, as well as online. If you attend the in-person version, you have to pay, and it's, I think, $98 or something like that for the 3 days. It's March 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That's a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If you sign up for the free version, the online version, and don't go there personally, it's completely free. And it has been free for the last 2 or 3 years when they're doing the online versions. And you'll find just helpful information on there of all kinds.
Did I lose you?
rootstech.org. Just go to rootstech.org
Yeah.
and you can get on there, click on that, you can register, and then they will send you notes about it and about all the different keynotes. And they've got several of the apostles of the Church of Jesus
Nita,
Christ.
I think I lost you.
It's what? They've out, and Elder Gong and his wife, Sister Gong, are the Discovery Day speakers. The Saturday, the 4th of March, is geared, among other things, there's a whole LDS for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints section. and all kinds of stuff on there for them. And they're the main keynote speakers for that on that Saturday, Elder and Sister Gong of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. I was going to put a slide in here to remember that, and I'm glad Gerhard reminded me of it. It's coming up in 2 weeks, and it's you can sign up for the free version, and they'll send you information, and it's loaded with stuff. There are 3 of my talks on there from past years, from the 2 from last year and 1 from the year before, and they're still available on there that you can watch. They're all half hour or something. Anyway, we appreciate all of you and appreciate you being with us. And so I'll just say thank you for watching and for being with us. And a month from now, we'll talk about snow numbers, which is a descendant numbering thing that works for our family, that helps tie our family together. Thank you very much for being with us.